I'm going to describe my systems thinking approach in a series of short videos. This is a basic introduction to those videos. I often say that my systems thinking approach is a two-sided coin, but it's more than that. It's two sides of a coin entwined with a silken cloth of self-development and emerging wisdom. I use the viable system model and other systems thinking approaches when relevant in quite a traditional way, as and when the context and client expectations require this. For example, I look at the various functions of the viable system model, such as the primary operations, coordination, day-to-day delivery, planning for the future, and how things are governed. I look at feedback loops and I explore where there's requisite variety. I look at the patterns of system behaviour that tell me whether there's an issue, and I use quite a technical mindset in this element of the exploration, bringing in thinking about known system pathologies, for example. This is one side of the coin, using known approaches. Alongside that is my own creating the conditions for change approach. This is a creative interpretation of the viable system model, developed from both theory and my own experiences in applying that theory. And this is the human-focused side of the approach. What are people doing when this works well? The aim is to bring humanity back into the work by focusing on what we need and want to feel nourished and fulfilled as we go about our daily tasks. Some of it is applicable when you're working as a core member of staff in an organisation. Some of it is applicable when you are an external consultant. Some of it is applicable when you're working on place-based system change. Some of it is applicable when working on public service improvement and transformation. Some of it is applicable when you're making improvements in private industry. It's for you to decide which elements are applicable and appropriate for you and when. Each situation is different and may require a different nuanced approach. This is the second side of the coin. However, there's another very important element to the approach, whatever the context. That is the development of ourselves as empathetic, conscious, confident, and wise human beings. This is the silken cloth that wraps around both sides of the coin and binds it all together. So my approach is threefold. First, using known concepts and approaches, particularly the viable system model, to explore and design. Second, using my own human-focused creating the conditions for change approach to create the conditions for effective change. And three, developing ourselves to be able to flourish, use our gifts to the full, and work well with those who we choose to be around and work with. I feel that this has taken my systems practitioner work into a whole new arena of human flourishing, and I'm in the process of continually developing this element of the work. I focus on creating viability in the culture of situations by encouraging the development of both people, relationships, and the working arrangements. When it comes to using my approach at a larger scale than, say, a team or a department, I always say that I don't focus on scaling up per se. I advocate for becoming competent in applying basic systems thinking concepts and ideas very, very well. For example, the ideas of feedback, variety management, and perhaps framing and reframing. Things like understanding that you have blind spots and that you're a human being and will have a different perception of a situation to your colleagues, and that you might project your thoughts onto a situation. But why did I go in this direction? Well, because almost every time I encounter people using systems thinking approaches who complain that they're not making any progress, it's because they've forgotten to apply and consider basic systems thinking concepts, principles and ideas. Their old habits kick in and they're back where they started, almost every single time. So this is the three-pronged approach that I've taken in my work for a number of years now. It's applicable to all kinds of contexts. I use it in public services, when working with foundations, with charities, with organisations. I also use it for place-based system change. And I use it personally for my own personal development. The concepts and ideas are highly versatile. And if you have the vision and learn to apply them in different contexts, you will develop a really key skill of a systems practitioner.